workers in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, groan as Nyesom Wike's administration cut salaries, allowances, amid inflation. Wow. So the FCT workers, okay, Federal Capital Territory Administration workers are now groaning as Wike has cut salaries and allowances. Wow. So why is Wike doing this? What is prompting it? Okay. Is this part of his tyrannical approach to government, or what could be responsible for this? We really need to know why Wike is doing this, and is it the right time to do it? And is it the right season to do it? And is there any alternative to what he's doing? We need to know. So let's dive into the details to understand clearly what Wike is doing and why he's doing what he's doing. Sahara reporters gathered that the Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, cut down most of their workers' salaries, claiming its budget and personnel cost vote had been exhausted. Can you imagine? So some workers in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, are currently groaning over a cut in their October salaries and allowances amid inflation and general economic hardship in the country. Sahara reporters gathered that the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, cut down most of their workers' salaries. Wow, because of budget. A letter by the Union Actions Committee confirmed the action. This is to inform the entire staff of FCDA that management met with JUAC earlier this week and has informed JUAC to sensitize all staff of its instability to pay salaries of all FCTA staff in the month of October 2023. The letter dated October 27 and signed by JUAC President Muhyiddin Oluwakorede and Secretary Enojo Sunday read. This is due to the fact that FCTA budget personnel cost vote has been exhausted because of the payment of the 40% peculiar allowances to staff of FCTA that started sometime in this year 2023. Payment of hazard allowance in some DSAs and so many other allowances not budgeted for. So in view of the above, JUAC insisted that instead of not paying salary at all in October, management should handle the matter in this manner. Okay, 1, that the October 2023 salary be paid without the peculiar allowances, which is what the current personnel cost vote can carry. That between now and November 2023, environment will be made to transfer funds from other votes to beef up the personnel cost vote to enable management pay November salary in full. However, some affected workers told Sahara reporters that the pay cut had affected their morale. Blaming the Minister of FCT, Nyesom Wike, they added that the cut had further plunged them into untold hardship, especially with the increasing cost of almost all commodities in the country. So the minister, Wike, could not consider the hardship in the country, talk less of adding up to the 35,000 naira agreed upon by the president, but went ahead to cut down the workers' October salaries, claiming there was no money, and agreed worker told Sahara reporters. So most of us are living in perpetual debt. We just pay the debt and at the same time collect foodstuff and other items on credit. Life is now biting hard on us as transportation fare has gone up and purchasing power of normal earning dwindle amid biting inflations occasioned by a continual fall of naira at the exchange market. Yet these peanuts we are getting have been slashed by the minister. Oh boy. So another worker added, our morale is low. The action of the minister has further increased our sufferings. Imagine a slash in salaries when the price of almost all commodities have skyrocketed. So that is the situation. So the issue now is because the budget is run low, there's no money to pay them. But why even the 35,000 that the government has approved to pay, they can't even pay it. The one that are paying already, they want to cut it down. Why? And meanwhile, Wike himself, has he cut down his allowances and salaries? The ministers and the commissioners and even what do they call them? The lawmakers at the upper and the lower chamber, have they cut down their salaries and allowances? Now they are taking huge money home and are telling common man to cut down and to tighten belt and cooperate. What does that mean? Eh? We understand that probably there was a mistake in the budgeting or in the budget spending. And if you go look at that budget spending, corruption will be in it. You can't tell us that the allowances that are paying now were not budgeted for before now. So what were budgeted for? And why will an authority pay for something that was not budgeted for? So why would that happen? If corruption is not going to be embedded in it. If embezzlement, if it's investigated, you might find embezzlement in it. So rather than finding the real cause of the situation and finding a solution to it, you are cutting people's salary amid fuel, hike in fuel price, which has led to increase in transportation from home to work and back every day. At the same time, with the low value of naira in the open market. So how do you expect these people to cope? They have children to pay their school fees. They have rent to pay. They have food stuff to buy, medical bills to pay, transport to and from work every day, clothing is there. What is even 30,000 in the first place? What can it offer? What can it pay? Eh? So rather than finding a way to sustain it and make the people happy a bit, you are throwing them into further perpetual poverty. Like they have said that they're living in perpetual poverty because the more they borrow, they will get the salary they will get, they will use to pay, and then they will collect food stuff in credit again. So they're in perpetual in debt. They are continuously owing. Eh? No, they need to do something, I tell you. So let's see. There are a few comments today. Someone say, last, everyone will collect breakfast. That is just the beginning. Exactly. Don't mind them. Now morning. Abi, they are just beginning. Whoa. So the headless mob are glad at the plight of Abuja people that voted Labour Party bottom to top. Their hate knows no limit. They rejoice at every bad news. Can you imagine? Why are you turning it to headless mob? Is it headless mob that is cutting salary? Is it headless mob that is putting people in perpetual penury? There is no inflation in Nigeria. We have bad policy implementation and very bad policy copycats, operating our economy. We have too much idle money in the hands of political office holders. And the politicians talk and talk from the two sides of their mouth at the same time. The average Nigerian politician is a deceiver. The civil servants are worse. It is through the channels of civil service that politics is played across the divide. And that is true. No politician can take a dime without the input of top civil servants. And that is true. The civil servants are the people helping them to manipulate numbers because they are experienced and they are being in it. They are separate corrupt people, politicians worse. That is it. So they should stone him anywhere they see him. He is a madman. Hey, that is Wike now. Okay, let them stone him if they can. This man is so heartless. Most civil servants rely on their salaries, but you, the politicians, go with all sorts of allowances and steal monies at will without considering any shortfall. But when it comes to workers' salary, that's where you hear all the jargons. This is just very unfortunate. So FCT workers are crying now, and Wike is happy doing it, and they think, and Wike has not cut his own salary and allowances, so the lawmakers and the ministers have not cut their own salaries and allowances. The executive, legislature, and judiciary are collecting their money very well, but civil service are suffering. Quite unfortunate. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comment.